Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Haley Estes here on the Mountain View Cottage. I share large family lifestyle, homeschooling, cleaning, organizing, you name it. Today we are going to talk about how I meal plan for a large family. We are a family of 9. We have 6 kids, 2 adults, me and my husband, and meal planning is essential in trying to keep to any kind of a budget with a large family. So here is how I do it. I have a list of my favorite recipes that are like our go-to recipes that my kids eat and love and enjoy. And I will sit down the day before payday every week, so every 2 weeks, sorry. And I will pick from that recipe list. And then I also love trying new recipes. I will pick out some new recipes that I want to try, and I will select 12 recipes for a 14-day period. I find that it helps to kind of have a couple floater recipes because usually we'll have like a leftover night or a fend for yourself night where my kids will eat cereal or whatever, just because I'm not in the mood to cook. And so that's basically kind of how I pick our meals. I also try to take into account dietary restrictions, things like that. And I try to have a balance of different kinds of meals like vegetarian, meat, fish, so that there is a balance. And I always add some sort of a healthy side to our meals most of the time. Vegetables or fruit. We do a lot of fruit on the side for dinner, which some people think is weird, but is totally normal for us. I really try to make sure I'm in the kitchen cooking about 12 times in a 2-week period, just so that we are sticking to a budget. It's really hard to stick to a budget when you're eating fast food, and it's also really hard to eat healthy when you're eating just fast food. And so I try to have meals planned and the ingredients on hand so that when we do get to that time of day where it's time to make dinner, I have something planned and ready to go. I do not like to plan each day of the 2-week period exactly. The way that I do it is I make a list of 12 meals. I put them up on our family menu board, which is in our like main living area. And then I will just cross them out as we do them. I tend to kind of like to have a little bit of freedom with our menu. And so I will kind of star certain things that have ingredients that are gonna go bad and need to be eaten earlier in our 2-week meal plan, such as things like with avocados or fresh produce or things like that that are gonna go bad quickly, cilantro, things like that. But for the most part, I kind of keep it pretty loose. And I also try to give myself some balance in the amount and the depth of which I'm cooking. I try to have some really easy meals such as wraps and sandwiches or eggs or breakfast for dinner or pizza. We have a standing pizza night once a week where we do a family movie night and I make cookies. And so I know I'm gonna have a pretty easy night at least once a week. And I just really try to make sure that I'm not like preparing meals for the person I'm not going to be every single night. I do love cooking and I enjoy cooking, but I still like breaks and I still don't always feel in the mood to start cooking. Usually once I get in the kitchen, I'm good, but it's like, I'm not in the mood sometimes. So I'm sure many of you can relate. So basically, I pick 12 meals and I have some favorite recipes that I choose from. I have a pretty good size list at this point and I just kind of rotate through things. And I also try to take into account seasonal recipes and things and holidays. So I will look at the actual calendar when I'm meal planning. This is huge. And look at the nights where we have lots of activities or if we're going to go out to eat, and I will account for those meals and I will write them down. Like if we're going to a friend's house, I'll write the name of the friend's house as a dinner and add whatever I'm contributing to that meal if I'm bringing something or nothing if I'm not, so that we have a good idea of not just our meal plan, but how it fits in with the 2 weeks that are ahead. I also like to use Google Docs for planning my menu. I have a planner. I usually write it in the planner, but I will put it roughly in a Google document just because then I can see it wherever I'm at. If I write it in my planner, I don't typically take my planner everywhere with me, but I do have a meal planner printable that I can share that's in my Etsy shop that I'll link in the description of this video if you want something a little more formal. But I like to put the list in my Google Docs so that if I'm out and about and I need to check it, I can access it at any time. It's one of the reasons I really like Google Docs or Google Sheets. So once I have decided on all the meals that I am going to prepare for the next 2 weeks, I like to get all the recipes out or print them out and put them in a sheet protector with the actual menu in the front so that I can just quickly grab them as I'm ready to cook. Just saves time and energy. And then the other thing I do is I grocery shop. So how do I grocery shop as a mother of 7? As you can imagine, going to the store with 7 children is not very fun. It can be an adventure for sure, but it's really hard. And so I almost 99% of the time do grocery pickup or grocery delivery depending on what kind of a mood I'm in, but I use Costco, Sam's Club, Walmart, and Fry's, sometimes Safeway, pretty much exclusively. All have online grocery options depending on what I need and where I need it from. And I will look at all the recipes. I always make sure to literally read each recipe so that I don't forget something. It's the worst when I forget like the one ingredient that was important because I just assumed I remembered and I don't because I'm human. And I make sure I have everything on hand, and I also make sure that I have room to store all the things in my home because we do have 2 freezers, but neither of them are huge. So I make sure I can store all the things that I'm buying on hand, and then I schedule a pickup or a delivery for the day of our payday. And that way I know that we have everything we need for 2 weeks. I also like to ask my kids if there's anything in particular that they need. And I find that it's the easiest to stay on a budget when I use the online grocery shopping options because I can see my cart, I can go back through, fine tune it, and make sure, you know, if there's fluff in there that I can get rid of because the price is not exactly where our budget is at or whatever, I can do that. And then if I'm really struggling, I can use coupons and I can shop deals a little bit better, or I can fine tune some of the meals so that they're more affordable for a large family because it is hard to feed a large family. And my kids are getting older. We have a 16-year-old, 2 12-year-old boys who are starting to eat more. And then of course me and my husband as adults. And so I have to cook larger quantities of things. So usually if it's a pasta recipe that calls for 1 box of pasta, I'm doubling that recipe. I'm doubling the protein, I'm doubling the pasta. And so trying to make all of that work is so much easier when I can use the online groceries to kind of figure out the cost of everything before I show up at the store and get sidetracked by the end caps and the random things that are on sale or whatever, you know. So online grocery shopping really helps me stay on a budget. That's pretty much it for how I meal plan. Once I've picked up all my groceries, I put everything away. I like to prep anything that I can in advance, such as produce. I like to put a few things, like some of the proteins right in the fridge so that they're easy to use. I don't have to thaw them, and unfreeze things for some of our first meals. And I have been very strictly doing menu planning for years and years and years. It really is the only way that I feel like I can effectively grocery shop, have what I need, feed my family, and stay on top of all the things in our pantry, such as snacks and drinks and breakfast and lunch and all the things. That's the other thing. I do not really plan breakfast or lunch. I just make sure we have the things that the kids like for lunches and breakfast. So I have kids who like bagels and cream cheese. I have kids who love to eat eggs. I have kids who like chicken nuggets or Hot Pockets or whatever it is. You know, they go in phases. And so I just kind of ask them what kind of things they're in the mood for their lunches and their breakfasts, and they prepare their lunch and their breakfast on their own. As a mom of a lot of kids, I prepare dinner and I expect my kids, except for the babies, of course, and the little toddlers, to prepare their breakfast and their lunches. My kids are really good at it. I have kids who know how to, like, yep, my daughter who's 10 can make macaroni, she can make fried eggs, she can make scrambled eggs, she can air fry chicken. My kids have become really capable because I allow them the freedom to make their own lunches, but I also try really, really hard to have healthy options to go with their lunches, such as prepared fruits and vegetables. On my Instagram and here on YouTube in the shorts, I share tons of videos of me prepping fruit and stocking my fridge snack drawer. And that is basically all the sides and snacks that my kids use for lunches. I find that if I prepare the fruit, wash it, put it in a container, and it's just ready to go and eat, they will eat it and it will not go bad and it will not get wasted, because there's nothing more frustrating than buying groceries and then them going bad and being wasted. And so I really, really love and recommend the Rubbermaid Brilliance containers. They're airtight containers, and if you clean your fruits such as grapes, blackberries, cherries, blueberries, strawberries, any fruit, if you clean it and put a piece of a paper towel, or if you want to be a little more environment conscious, like a towel, in the bottom of the container, and then put the fruit in. It doesn't even have to be completely dry, and put it in there. It will last for the 2 weeks no matter what it is. Even some of the hardest to keep fruit will last for the full 2 weeks. Usually mine does not last the full 2 weeks because my kids will eat it all. And then I prepare a $100 buffer the second week of our grocery budget to replenish the produce. And that is basically how we grocery shop. Currently, right now, we are spending about $1,200 a month on groceries. I know you guys are gonna probably ask me that. That's around what our budget is for groceries and things like shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, toilet paper, all those things. So it is rough because groceries have increased in price so much, but it is possible to stay on a budget and to feed your family healthy, yummy meals by meal planning. And meal planning just like takes so much stress off my plate. Even if I don't feel in the mood to cook dinner, I know that at least I don't have to go to the store. I don't have to figure out fast food or something, because I know that there's going to be something that I can make for dinner every single night. I hope that these tips helped you, and maybe if you like to plan but you don't like to be pigeonholed into a single meal every single day of the week that's exact, that the way that I do it might be appealing to you, so that you have a little more flexibility in your meal planning. And I hope this encourages you to maybe make some changes to your meal plan or start meal planning if you've never done it before. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you'll give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It's a free way to support me and my family, and I so appreciate it when you do. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.